utilities for the Filipino, which is basic. You know, electricity is just like water. You can't live without it now. So we cannot allow such situation where someone is definitely benefiting so much while the Filipino people continue to suffer. So I think, Mr. Chair, thank you for supporting my motion, and I would like to yield to the chairman for that point.
Thank you very much. You said Sharon Garin, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, I think the calculations, one agency that can derive number, but I don't know if exactly they can derive what DS Suarez would want is IMAP, Mr. Chair. They can also do simulations on that, Mr. Chair.
Yes, can we, on the suggestion of the Honorable Undersecretary Sharon Garin, you're recognized.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, we can po.
Pero you don't have that right now.
We'll do, Mr. Chair.
The question, that exact question will be raised by the Deputy Speaker again, and we will call you first. Okay, thank you. So, the Honorable Suarez, they will prepare that answer in the next hearing.
Okay, thank you very much. Maraming salamat.
Tama po ba na wala pa po kayong numero na yun? No?
Well, Mr. Chair,
Kaso lang, Mr. Chair, alam niyo po ba kung ano mas magandang may handa din nila para sa susunod na hearing?
Please, manifest it.
Kung makahanda din kayo ng paraan na hindi na bayaran ng Pilipino yung mga proyektong hindi pa tapos, yun ang pinakamagandang paraan may handa niyo para sa susunod na hearing. We should only be paying for things that we're actually being na ginagamit natin. We shouldn't be paying for things that we have not used or our projects that are being pushed further back because of delays. Hindi dapat binabayaran ng Pilipino ang inefficiency. We should be paying for efficiency, not inefficiency.
Thank you, the Honorable Deputy Speaker Suarez. May we now ask the DOE and NEA.
Mr. Chair, ano lang, kapraso lang. To answer the query of DS...
Okay, so again, the Chair will yield to the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Kasi
okay.
medyo...
Sige.
Inaalap ko lang po yung tinatanong ni DSJJ kasi tinatanong niya kung magkano po ang kinita natin doon sa 3% franchise tax nung tayo po ay pumasok sa concession agreement with NGCP. Compare, nung ito po ay hawak ng Transco. Nung hawak po ng Transco to, ang projected po nila, prior doon sa concession agreement, kumikita na po tayo ng 9.5 billion per year. Ngayon po, ang projection ng Transco from 2009 to 2034, which is 25 years na concession agreement, kikita tayo ng 108 billion para po doon sa Transco corporate income tax. Pero since tayo po ay nag-under sa concession, ang binabayaran lang po ng NGCP is 3%, which is equivalent to 16.3 billion from 2009 to 2034. So, ang ibig sabihin, Mr. Chairman, kung hawak siya ng Transco, kukita tayo sa loob ng 25 taon ng 108.8 billion. Pero ngayong hawak na tayo ng concessionaire na NGCP, kikita lang tayo from 2009 to 2034 ng 16.3 billion. So, 92.5 billion ang nawalang total loss in taxes. Yun po ang repercussion ng ginawa natin. And I think, kaya nga sinuportahan ko po yung motion ni DS JJ Suarez. It's high time to review the franchise of NGCP. At kung kailangan pong i-revoke ang franchise na to, let's do it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dan Suarez. We now...
Dan Fernandez po, sir.
Danny Suarez,
the Honorable Dan Fernandez, I'm sorry. Tiyo ko po yan. Si... okay.
May I proceed,
The Honorable Rog is also online. Thank you very much. I think the Honorable Rog has a question. So can we now put him on screen?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon. I apologize, Mr. Chair, for the camera currently mobile.
Honorable Rog, welcome to the committee hearing. You may now ask your
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, just a quick manifestation because I agree with the sentiments of DS Flores and I support the motion to convert this to a thorough review of the franchise. I wanted to bring this up earlier, but given that Section 8 is talking about the dispersal of ownership, as we've seen with other franchise hearings we've had, Mr. Chair, this is usually there to temper interests of those who are currently holding the franchise and to level the playing field with the public. So as we can see, we can't talk about inefficiency, we can't talk about La Nina preparedness without talking about conflict of interest. So I really do agree that we should look into Section 8. With that, Mr. Chair, I would just like to request that through the committee and through the chair, most respectfully, we request for the documents that were being referred to earlier. May we request from SGP, Synergy, Grid, the share swap agreement that they might have had with NGCP. And maybe also request, Mr. Chair, for the documents that SGP presented to the PSE for their IPO. I think this would be very helpful for us moving forward, especially if since the motion was granted and we'll be taking that in the next hearing. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chair, for the consideration of the body. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rog. NGCP, did you take note of the request?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are taking note of all the requests. Yes, Mr. Chair, even the one given online po.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's clear. Please submit those documents. And the position that all these questions really started because of the transmission issue. Kaya ako nagsasaka itong mga tanong at nanganganak because also of the answers raised by NGCP. And we have to be very, very clear because at the end of the day, it's public interest ang bottom line po nito. That's why yan po talaga ang titignan po natin. So now, yes, the Honorable J.J. Suarez, you're recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just need to amend my motion earlier.
Yes.
Since we have sufficient numbers of members present with us online, may I call on the members of the committee to vote on conducting a motu proprio inquiry for the review of the congressional franchise of NGCP. I move a referendum be made on this matter. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion by the Honorable Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez. Any second? The Honorable Dan?
Second motion, Mr. Chair.
Second motion? I didn't know kasi you opened your mic. So,
Yes,
the second by the Honorable Dan Fernandez. Comsec, any objections? If there are none, therefore we now, the motion is hereby approved. We now proceed.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
prior to my
May
next...
okay, pabusin ko muna yung mga tanong nyo kasi may mga tanong din ako. Pero unahin ko muna kayo.
Sige, prior to the next issue that this representation would like to tackle, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to ask yung NGCP about doon po sa NGCP attorney, kasi years ago, ang National Transmission Corporation o Transco, sumulat si Mr. Henry C., ang President and CEO, sa kanya about the engaging yung pong NGCP in other businesses without prior consent of the PISAM. Are you familiar with this issue?
No, Mr. Chair. If we have a copy of that, maybe we can answer.
Yes. Kasi ang NGCP po ay nagtayo ng mga telecommunication doon sa mga sub-transmission natin na under the concession agreement. And these have been discussed thoroughly sa Senate, dito sa Congress, etong mga facility na to. And we asked before if these facilities were dismantled. So siguro isama nyo na lang po sa report nyo kung these facilities were dismantled. But because, Mr. Chairman, yung telecommunication business na kapag isinama mo to dito sa grid, billion of dollars. $22 billion ang pwede nating projected income dun sa optical fiber that can be put on the grid. No? Napakalaki po ng negosyong pwede nating makuha dito. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I think it is imperative on this government and on this Congress to really review their franchise. Dahil nga, meron po tayong nawawalang potential pagdating po doon sa paggamit ng ating pong grid. Hindi po ito nakita nung ito po ipinirmahan tong concession agreement, yung possibility that this telecommunication can be taken advantage by this government. And I think we need to discuss the importance of this business that this government must be put on this different sites, yung ating mga sub-transmissions. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I think, alam mo to, Attorney Cynthia, meron po tayong property na owned by the Social Security System doon sa Pasay. Ito po ay 60,500 square meter. At doon po sa pagtatayo sa Pasay ng 230 kilovolts substation project, it requires only 2,000 square meter. So ang tanong ko, bakit po natin binili yung 60,852 square meter na property doon po sa Pasay na pag-aari ng SSS?
Mr. Chair, we will draft our answer, submit our answer, written form.
And also, please try to answer back on this issue dahil yung pong property na binili ng NGCP, nakapangalan po sa NGCP. Tandaan po ninyo, hindi po kayo ang may-ari nito. Ito'y pag-aari ng gobyerno. And that's the reason why we're asking why the purchase of the property sa Pasay na pag-aari ng Social Security System, nag-file ang NGCP ng expropriation, and they were able to purchase the 60,000 square meter property and put the name under the NGCP. Okay, so please put that in your record as well. Yes.
Can I just add that it's not just SSS. There's also cases of NPC and PSAL, Mr. Chair. Similar manner.
So how many, Mr. Chair?
On our record is just 3 government agencies.
3 government agencies. I think also the sa Barangay Bitin sa Bae Laguna, na kung saan doon po ako nanggaling, Barangay Bitin, Bae Laguna, in connection with the Lumban EHB Bae 230 kilovolts transmission is under also the expropriation. And kung inilalagay nila sa kanilang pangalan yung property at ang contention nila ay ipapangalan sa atin after the concession agreement expired, then yung property baka tumaas na during that time. So mahirapan ng gobyerno to pay it back or to buy back the property. So dapat ngayon pa lamang, Mr. Chairman, nasa pangalan na po yan ng Transco. Dahil Transco po ang ay pag-aari po ng gobyerno. So yun po ang ating pong isang contention that I think there is also a violation on the part of the NGCP on putting the name of a private company on the property that was expropriated by them and by the government in favor sa kanila. Sa kanila nakapangalan. Hindi po sa atin. So, doon pa naman nakikita po natin ang maraming mga violation that was committed by the NGCP. So, Mr. Chairman, pupunta na po ako sa last. Kasi po pinag-usapan kanina, binabanggit po ni Attorney Cynthia yung we're talking about yung kanilang operation dahil nga po La Nina na. Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Sharon, before we ask the Honorable Dan to continue, the Honorable Yusek.
just on the topic on the expropriation, because there is a ruling of the ERC na hindi pwede sila to expropriate if there is no ERC ruling. And exactly the problem why the problem is exacerbated by the fact that it's under the name of a private company. Had it been a government agency expropriating, even for our developers, ang DOE kasing nagsumusulat sa owners for the expropriation proceedings and that medyo yun yung usual course ng expropriation. Now if it's a private company, then it becomes longer and more complicated and more bound to the expensive and even more bound to certain rules. Pero kung government yan, Transco or DOE, then beyond the franchise and beyond the IPIRA law, pwedeng may right ang gobyerno mag-expropriate, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Yusek Sharon Garin. Any other question for any other member?
Mr. Chair,
The Honorable Dan Fernandez.
sa logo lang nila, makikita mo na ng feeling ng NGCP, sila po may-ari ng transmission at hindi po gobyerno. Kung papansinin po ang kanilang logo, hindi ko alam kung meron tayong logo dito Hindi po, dapat sinasama nyo ang Transco Dahil gobyerno may-ari ng transmission, hindi po NGCP. At kung ang may-ari po ng transmission ay gobyerno, dapat sa logo nyo nakasama ang Pilipinas. Hindi nyo inaari ang transmission. Now, Mr. Chairman, balik po tayo doon sa nangyari noong January 2, 2024. Alam naman po natin, Mr. Chairman, na nagkaroon tayo ng going back to the premise of Attorney Cynthia that La Nina, papasok na po La Nina, bakasyon, pumasok ang Kongreso para pag-usapan lang yung problema ng Panay, power interruption. We have invited si Roel Castro sa Panay. I think he's still in here. So, ang tanong ko sa NGCP, ang pinag-usapan po natin doon ay yung pong ancillary services. So, sa ancillary services po na binabanggit, it is the obligation of the operator, which is the NGCP, to supply for the reserve capacity, contingency, and yung tinatawag nating what's this? Disposable. So, ang tanong ko po, preferred na po ba tayo doon po sa ating mga tinatawag na mga reserves? Firm na ba lahat ang mga contracts natin at wala na po tayong non-firm?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, pagdating sa Luzon, ilan po ang naka-alat natin para po sa tinatawag nating reserve capacity? Sa regulating reserve, ilan po ang
Mr.
megawatts?
Chair, yeah, sorry. May I clarify po?
Yes.
For our ancillary services procurement, we were required by the Department of Energy to conduct a CSP. Now, the competitive selection process was conducted and finished in 2023, I think 2023. And then in 2024, we were also required to purchase a certain percentage from the ancillary services reserve market that was established in January of this year. So we have finished conducting the CSP, and the reserve market, which was launched in January po, was reinstated and then subsequently suspended and again reinstated last July. So umaandar na po yan. So yung requirement po ng NGCP na mangontrata ng firm contracts under the CSP, tapos na po yan. At yung iba po, binibili natin sa merkado.
So, pagdating sa Suarez, it's an honor, Mr. Chairman, to be called Dan Suarez.
It only means that it's Christmas.
Okay. According sa ASPP, yung contingency reserve natin na kailangan natin sa Luzon, firm contracts, 647 megawatts. Are you compliant with this?
Mr. Chair, the data I will get for you. I'll have them from the SO. But in terms of contracting, we have complied with the directive to do CSP, and we are purchasing what is required from the reserve market. But again, it really depends on what is on offer.
Ito, Attorney Cynthia, magja-January to na, magja-January na ha. Baka mamaya yung mga congressman na naman natin sa Iloilo, ayan, katulad ni Yusek Sharon Garin, nagkaroon yan. Baka mamaya mag-outage na naman tayo, todas na naman tayo dyan. So, ang kailangan natin sa Luzon, firm contract, 647 megawatts. Sa Visayas, 150 megawatts. Sa Mindanao, 150 megawatts. Ba't ko sinasabi, ito yung contingency reserve? Ang ibig sabihin, kailangan ninyo magkaroon ng ancillary services, primary reserve, na yung pinakamalaking planta sa Luzon. Nagkikita siya ng 647. Kapag yun nag-fail, kailangan meron tayong pampalit doon, which is 647 megawatts ang pinakamalaki natin sa Luzon. Sa Visayas is 150 megawatts, sa Mindanao 150 megawatts. These are all the ancillary services that we need for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao for contingency reserve alone. Meron din tayong tinatawag na dispatchable reserve. Sa dispatchable reserve, Anthony Cynthia, kailangan din natin sa Luzon ng 647 megawatts, sa Visayas 135 megawatts, and Mindanao 150 megawatts. Kung meron tayong reserve sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, dito para sa contingency reserve and dispatchable reserve, there is no reason para tayo magkaroon ng outage ngayong darating na January. If ever, na magkaroon tayo, you have said and manifested in here that we have complied with ancillary services, then I will take your word for that.